and most effective way to help all those affected as a result of the changes proposed last year.
This sounded less like a considered statement from a Chancellor and more like a cynical press release in a by-election campaign.
And we revealed that the government's entire budget was under threat if it hadn't backed down. Also tonight, in China, up to 100,000 people missing after the earthquake and rising concern for the survivors.
It's raining, there's no power, there's no water, and they fear there are going to be aftershocks.
The mock-up explosion shown to the jury trying the 8 men accused of plotting to blow up passenger planes. And how the Turkish First Lady made a statement as she welcomed the Queen on a state visit.
And in the northwest, the region under siege, the invasion by the Scots and the Russians gets underway for the UEFA Cup final. And surprise, surprise, guess who's back in her hometown for a Laura laughs?
Good evening. The storm over the abolition of the 10p tax band, which left 5 million people worse off, has now led to a tax cut for 22 million people. The drastic action was taken by the Chancellor, faced with the rebellion by Labour MPs. Mr Darling said he would borrow £2.7 billion to pay for the scheme. But the Conservatives say the timing, just a week before a parliamentary by-election, is cynical. Let's join our political editor, Nick Robinson, who's in Downing Street.
This was quite simply an emergency budget. The emergency, not economic, not financial, but political. Gordon Brown had been warned that without serious change, his budget faced defeat in the House of Commons at the hands of Labour MPs, and that would have led to serious calls for him to quit. It is the biggest tax giveaway for 7 years. 22 million people have been promised an unexpected tax cut, paid for by borrowing almost £3 billion. Those watching the Chancellor today expected little. After all, only 10 weeks ago, they'd heard him say he'd no money to give away. But today was different.
At a cost of £2.7 billion, I will increase the individual personal tax allowances by £600 to £6,035 for this financial year, benefiting all basic rate taxpayers under the age of 65.
It's a tax change that will mean 22 million basic rate taxpayers gain £120 this year. But even so, 1.1 million households will still lose out from the scrapping of the 10p tax rate. The government needs this payout to be appreciated in Crewe more than anywhere else. Next week's by-election here could prove crucial for Gordon Brown's future.
And anything to help, you know, the young ones and the poorer ones and the low-income ones, fine, you know, but it's a shame it had to happen, you know, why it was in the first place.
I think they just tried to kid us all the time on figures. They're saying they're giving us £120 back. I've already lost £132.
The Tories accused the Chancellor of panicking before the by-election and promising a tax cut for just 1 year only.
He serves up a compensation con after a tax con and expects people to believe it. What utter cynicism, what total incompetence, and what a complete humiliation for this Chancellor of the Exchequer.
But the man who led the Labour revolt was in full retreat.
Lakefield, may I congratulate the Chancellor for putting an end to this issue. I allowed my campaigning to become personal. I much regret that, and I apologise without reservation.
The 10p tax saga has been very personal for Gordon Brown. As Chancellor, he scrapped it.
I can now return income tax to just 2 rates by removing the 10p band on non-savings income.
A year later, as Prime Minister, he watched his Chancellor do nothing about the problems caused. At first, he denied there were any losers,